morning and welcome to the show. Hi, I'm Maggie Linton. Well, it's Wealth Wednesday and we're going to start with just that. Take a look at Islam and Pakistan and end with actress and singer and all-around entertainer Cheryl Lee Ralph. We'll begin with Aaron Smith of A.W. Smith Financial Group. Second hour, we'll take an in-depth look at Islam and Pakistan when journalist Shahan Mufti talks about his book, The Faithful Scribe. And we'll close with actress, singer, author, and entertainer Cheryl Lee Ralph. She'll be here to promote her new series on Nick at Night, Instant Mom. But we begin today with our favorite Wednesday topic, money. Here to share some knowledge on financial freedom is author, radio host, entrepreneur, motivational speaker, and president and founder of A.W. Smith Financial Group, Aaron Smith. Welcome, Aaron.
Maggie, thank you. I love to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, I'm certainly glad you're here. First of all, tell our listeners about you. I told them briefly, but let's get the little bit longer one.
Well, let me tell you, Maggie, I grew up in Richmond, Virginia. I was born to a mother who was a domestic worker and father who was a truck driver. And just like many of your listeners, I didn't have a financial background. My parents didn't have a financial background. I was fortunate enough, Maggie, to get an athletic scholarship to a fine university in Richmond, titled or called the University of Richmond. Mm-hmm. And the reason
the Richmond Spiders.
The Richmond Spiders, absolutely. Many people don't know about the Spiders.
Oh, please. I went to the University of Kansas, okay?
There you go.
Okay.
All right. Well, the bottom line here is, at the end of the day, I was fortunate enough to get an education, a traditional education, just like many of your listeners, understanding our 1, 2, 3s and ABCs. And I went on and began to get a professional education. And that professional education began with me learning the topic of finance. And just like many of your listeners, they become nurses or doctors or engineers or government workers. But what was missing, Maggie, was the third type of education, which was financial education. So that's what I'm here to talk about. That's what I'm all about. And that's really who I am. It's really teaching people the foundation of understanding how money works and not being intimidated by the language of money.
Yeah, well, that's what we try and get all of our listeners to do, is to not be intimidated by it, because it is not a privilege, but it's something we all have to work toward to become a privileged status of knowing where our money is and how it works.
Yeah, absolutely. At the end of the day, we focus a lot on everyday activities in our life. We're so busy. Many of us are just so busy every day. Hustle and bustle, but we don't really sit down and think, how do I learn about one of the most important items that will allow my family to have the lifestyle that they desire? And it's money. And we go to work every single day. We're busy. We're working hard. We want to make sure that we take care of our finances.
Yeah. Oh, and also money is one color that works no matter where you are in this world.
Absolutely. Isn't it fun?
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Is. I always say, I think that my listeners really need to know more. Let's talk about, you also have a book, In the Black, Live Faithfully and Prosper Financially. And you have a 9-step plan for financial fitness. How did you come up with this 9-step plan?
Well, the book was written a few years ago, actually during the course of the crisis we call the Great Recession. And In the Black, Maggie, is actually about a state of mind. What's your state of mind? Is your state of mind about positive? We hear so much in the media, certainly over the recent years, about negative. Everything is so sour when it comes to money. Money does equal employment opportunities. Money does equal opportunities in terms of having your own business. But we just hear so much negative. In the Black is about being positive. The 9 steps that I have there, the 9 steps, and you can get my book, Amazon.com or your local bookstore, but 9 steps is exactly what it is. It's from learning how to have a foundation from step 1, which is your values. It's important to understand that your money equals, Maggie, your values. And many of us don't really understand that. We think about money in the terms of numbers. Who wants to be a millionaire, so to speak? We remember that TV show, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's about not necessarily who wants to be a millionaire, but it's really about, Maggie, happiness and comfort and family and friends and your relationship with God. It's all about those things. So money equals your values. And once people understand that, then they get it.
And there's no shortcut.
Well, it takes a while to build wealth, and there is no free lunch. There's no quick fix. There is no instant oatmeal, so to speak. And we find in our profession, Maggie, that many people who feel that they can get rich quick generally feel or generally get on the other side negative as it relates to the loss of their wealth, because they're looking for something that they're expecting to successfully accomplish financially right away, and it doesn't happen right away.
Right. All right. Let's begin with the saving, because that's the biggest thing. We know so many people. I know more than a few that are still living from paycheck to paycheck. Mm-hmm. And we have to get out of that syndrome right from the very beginning. Sure. Even with the very first job, no matter how much you're making, you have to get out of that living from paycheck to paycheck.
Sure. Well, first of all, your listeners, if you have employment, you have wealth. That's the first thing that has to be understood. If you have employment, you have wealth. What you do with that wealth is your decision. And what I recommend is that you not save, but invest. We want to start using the term investment and not saving. And what investment does, it allows you to understand that you want to take a percentage of what you earn and you want to take it off the top first. Very similar, Maggie, to what the federal government does. Mm-hmm. You notice that they don't give us our paycheck and say, hey, look here, you owe some federal and state tax, give it back to us. Yeah. No, they don't do that. No. And you are more important than the federal government. So you ought to be paying yourself first. And if you do that, you get in a habit. And once you get in a habit, it becomes easier. What most people find is they never get themselves in that situation as a habit. So they're spending their wealth first, whether it's spending it on food, clothing, et cetera, and they don't find themselves financially successful. So if you have a job, and it doesn't make any difference what you earn, if you do it first, you'll find yourself successfully financially in years to come.
Mm-hmm. And in that investing, sometimes it may take a while to build up the investment in order to invest in something a little larger. But right from the very beginning, I like that. You're investing in yourself.
Absolutely.
Which got to pay yourself first.
You got to pay yourself first. Absolutely.
Right. Number two.
Sure. Number two, I'm a firm believer of understanding how to have a backup plan. Mm-hmm. And in today's society, as we've gone through this great recession that we've gone through, Maggie, what we have found that we may not be getting back to a unemployment rate of 5%. That may not be in our near future. You have to have a gig, I sort of call it, on the side. You have to start thinking like an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. Many of our kids and your listeners, their kids and grandkids are now starting to think about, hey, maybe I do have some type of entrepreneur spirit. I'm not going to work for a corporation like my mom or my dad may have for 30 years. So we have to have a backup plan as it relates to our wealth and our income, so that if we are laid off or we don't, or we're not successful always in that employment we want, we have something that we can fall back on. So we have to learn how to be multitask, how to be successful financially, but also academically, et cetera, et cetera. And so we have to be understand how to multiply our talents. That's number two.
And, a lot of that is you may have a job, but a lot of times people are not working at a job that really brings them a lot of pleasure. They're just at a job. And finding that job that also brings you pleasure will make you that much more wanting to stay in a job, or maybe, as you said, create that job too. And that's part of the seeking also of financial security.
Oh, sure it is. I mean, you got to love what you do. That's what I say. Love what you do. And, many of us, we do make great incomes, but we don't necessarily feel good about what we do. Mm-hmm. And it's important to find what you are great at, you're good at. Not, Maggie, what someone else is good at or great at, but find out what you're good at and you're great at, and develop opportunities and skill sets around that, and earn a living doing it. People ask me, Aaron, they say, Aaron, look here, man, when are you going to retire? And I say to him, Maggie, I said, I'm already retired. I am absolutely already retired. I am doing what I love to do.
Yeah, people ask me that all the time, too, and I say, I love what I'm doing.
There you go.
We've got Alonzo in Colorado. Go ahead, please.
Hi, I just had a quick question. My wife and I own a business, and we make pretty decent money, but it doesn't seem as if I'm getting ahead. So I just would like a little bit of guidance on that.
Alonzo, thanks for the call. First of all, give me just a little bit more, if you will. It sounds like a mom and pop shop. That's what we call a mom and pop shop, where there's a spouse and working in a business. And we're the same way. My wife works in the business with me as well. And give me a little bit about your business. What type of business is it? How long have you been in business? And do you have employees?
We have 5 employees. I've been in business just about 17 years, but I've started this new endeavor, which is a child placement agency, about 2 years ago. So I currently have 5 employees. We make, decent money per month. But it seems when I plug my numbers into QuickBooks is spitting out, okay, Alonzo, you have X amount that you should have surplus in the bank. When I go to the bank account, everything's not balancing out the way that my computer's saying.
Alonzo, I got you. Look here. First of all, I want to congratulate you because you have a successful business. You've been doing it for 17 years. Second of all, I don't want you to depend solely on QuickBooks, okay? That is a software program. I want you to start using your skills to build wealth like you've used your skills to build your business. So what you have to start thinking about is what strategies I can put in play that Alonzo can use and his spouse can use to help them build wealth in the business. If you've been doing it 17 years successfully, I would suspect that at some point you're getting close to maybe retirement, maybe close to maybe selling your business. So what you want to start thinking about right now is what tax strategies and investment strategies that I can create right now that's going to allow me to start building. So I would just go back to what Maggie and myself were just talking about in terms of paying yourself first. You get some tax benefits, Alonzo, from paying yourself first. You might want to use a simple plan, or you may want to use a SEP plan, or you might want to use some type of executive bonus plan for yourself and for your spouse. And don't forget about your employees as well. Your employees are very valuable to your business. Consider thinking about how to use them in a way to create more wealth in your business, and also at the same time, Alonzo, being able to continue to grow your business. I tell you, man, I could talk all day on small businesses and how you become successful as a small business owner, but Maggie wouldn't let me do that.
No, so, but I know there are a number of people who do listen to us who do own their own business, and about how important it is. Alonzo, do you have a little bit more leading question that you would like?
Okay, well, yes, I do have the SEP IRA going, savings plan in place, and that's going, and that's also all in place for my employees. But I guess I would need someone to probably sit down and look at me. Even though I've been in business for 17 years and I've been really successful, we had some health problems a couple years back that set us back. So now we're starting over again. And my goal is, I made a lot of money previously, and my goal is I didn't learn how to manage my money until the end of my tenure previously. So this next time around, I'm determined from day one to save the maximum amount of money, to invest the maximum amount of money, because I know money comes in waves, and while I'm on an upswing, I want to maximize it.
Yeah. Make it for the future. I have to ask you, and this is me, I'm jumping in here. Now that you've started over again, do you have a financial advisor, or are you just trying to do it all yourself?
I do not.
That's one of the ways to look at. I also recommend, of course, Aaron's book, In the Black, but definitely seek out a good financial advisor. And it's okay to interview them and make sure that you and the person are on the same page.
Okay.
And what would you say?
Yeah,
Aaron?
I would think so, Maggie. That's a great comment. Alonzo, what you want to do is find someone who you can relate to. The first thing that you want to do when you're seeking out financial advice, you want to work with someone, interview someone, And when you decide to make the decision to work with them, the first thing you ought to require is that you like them. That's number one. You have to like each other because it's going to be a long-term relationship. The second thing that you want to do is you want to work with someone who has similar interests or similar concerns that you have as a business owner. And number three, don't be shy, Alonzo, at all about asking that financial professional about their wealth. If they haven't built wealth themselves, it's going to be very hard for them to tell you and share with you how to do it yourself. Look for someone certainly in your area that could be local with you. But that doesn't necessarily have to be the case as well. You can work with someone who's long distance. So I'm sure during the course of this show, Maggie will be giving a little bit more information out about us. And if you'd like to contact us and you need more information off air, I can at least have a little bit more of a detailed conversation with you.
Okay.
Okay. I would like that. Thank you.
All right. And his website is A.W. Smith. Is it financial?
Financial.com.
awsmithfinancial.com, and it's already up on my Facebook page, as is all contact information for everyone we have on. Okay?
Okay, thank you. I will contact.
And, because no matter how good you think you are, unless you are riding and swimming in the same waters with finance, believe me, you need someone to help advise you. And they will put you in the right location, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Continued success and blessings. All right. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, more with A.W. Smith, Aaron Smith. Stay tuned.
You're listening to the Maggie Linton Show on Sirius XM Urban View. We'll be right back. And now let's join Maggie Linton on Sirius XM Urban View, Channel 110.
Welcome back. Top of the next hour, a personal look at Islam and Pakistan with journalist Shahan Mufti. But we continue right now with financial advisor Aaron Smith, and we'll also take your calls. You can give us a call, folks. I know you got some questions out there. 866-801-8255. Once again, that's 866-801-8255. You and I were, Aaron and I were talking off mic while the break was going on about the reason why a lot of times people don't seek financial help.
Yeah, Maggie, let me say this. This is just so important. If you all will just kind of, raise your antennas for just a moment. We've been doing financial coaching, financial counseling over 20 years. And we talk to our clients, and they're not necessarily, Maggie, immediately comfortable with us and ready to open up. But what we find over that 20-year span is that it doesn't matter your educational level. It doesn't matter where you come from. What we find is many people who has not always done the right thing they perceive to be the right thing with their money, in many cases won't talk to a professional because they are embarrassed. Mm-hmm. And it's almost akin to, going to the dentist. If you go to the dentist is not there to make fun of you as it relates to your teeth. He or she is there to help you get better. And that's what financial professionals are there to do. We also talked off mic, if you will, Maggie, we talked about getting advice from non-professionals. If you start thinking about it, the people that are around you, think about your family, your parents, your friends, your colleagues. Those are people that you're comfortable with. And we like to get information from people we're comfortable with. But if that person is not a professional, then they can do you more harm than they can do you good. So I always advise people, if you're going to have surgery, would you get advice from your friend? Would you get advice from
the plumber?
Plumber.
Unless the plumber's had similar surgery and you could say, who was your surgeon?
That's
but generally, if you were seeking advice, nah.
Absolutely. So it's important to talk to a professional.
That's right.
Right.
All right. We've got Tyrone from New York. Go ahead, Tyrone.
How you doing? Good morning.
Good morning.
I just have a quick question. I'm looking for a financial advisor. I have two homes, and one is in Brooklyn. It's a rental unit now. And I have one, and I live in the one in Long Island. Unfortunately, I'm in for problems with both of them, foreclosure actually, which is embarrassing because the situation didn't have to be that way. But poor communication between me and my wife got me in this situation. So I'm trying to find a financial advisor to tell me what would be my best bet. Should I sell one to bring the other one up to date, or what should I do?
Great. Tyrone, tell me just a little bit more about you, if you will, in terms of what is your age? Are you employed, or do you do rental properties as a business? Give me a little bit of insight about that.
No, back in 2001, I bought my first house in Brooklyn. My wife has her own daycare business, and I work for the city of New York. And the business was paying the mortgages, but when things started slowing down, and we had already moved out of our house in Brooklyn back in 2009. There was just poor communication between me and my wife, and 3 months later, she tells me that she wasn't paying the mortgage. So right away, I went and rented it out, but by that time, they had already started pushing this was back in 2010. I had been trying to modify it, but they said you cannot modify 2 FHA loans. So I've got a lawyer working on my house in Brooklyn, and I've just been paying the mortgage on the one. I got a lawyer working on the one in Long Island, and I've just been paying the mortgage on the one in Brooklyn because I have 2 tenants living there. The mortgage there is $2,500 a month, and I'm getting $3,000 a month between the 2 tenants.
Okay, Tyrone, this is what you want to do. The first thing that you want to do is step back for a second, and you don't want to blame anyone. Okay, so you want to get rid of the blame. Step back for a moment, and you want to start to create a game plan. You can't go anywhere without a game plan, a strategy, okay? So what I would first do, if I were you, is look at the positive things that you are doing. You work for the city of New York. They have some fine benefits that are available to you in that city, okay? Second of all, your wife has a daycare. She has her own business. So you want to start looking at those positive things. In terms of the properties that you own, sometimes, and I'm not advising you to do this because you do want to sit down with an advisor, sometimes it's okay to take a step back to take a step forward, meaning that those properties may be something that you may not need to have in your life financially, or they very well could be. But at the end of the day, you want to create some type of strategy or a game plan so that you understand what your outcome is going to be. And you can't do it by simply guessing. So I would recommend that you once again, you talk to somebody local in your area, someone in New York that you may have want to have a relationship with, and interview them and talk with them and allow them to give you solid advice. Once again, not to sell you anything, to advise you, to give you advice. And one more thing, Tyrone, you should be willing to pay for this service. It should not be for free. If it's for free, you're not going to get great advice. You got to pay for it. Okay?
Yeah. Now, is there any website I could go on to find a good advisor in New York, in the New York or Long Island area?
Well, this is what I recommend that you do for your area. Start asking questions, people that you may know, that you've talked about. Maggie just mentioned a little bit about, if you're looking for a doctor, you may want to get advice from somebody who's worked with that doctor. So you might want to ask that way. But if you got something to write with, the listeners out there, Maggie, if they have something to write with, a pen and paper, I want you to write this down. This is important as you look for someone. There's a organization, a governmental organization called FINRA.org. It's F as in Frank, INRA, FINRA.org. Tyrone, FINRA.org will allow you to vet any advisor that you plan to work with. So if they're not a member of FINRA, you don't want to work with them. That's number one. Number two, it's going to vet them in terms of, are there any issues with that advisor? Do they have any bankruptcy? Do they have any complaints, et cetera, et cetera? Go to that website. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Make sure when you sit down with an advisor, you go to FINRA and then you vet them.
Okay. And how you spell that? How you spell FINRA again?
F as in Fred, I, N as in Nelly, R-A. FINRA. It's like financial something, but it's FINRA.
Regulations, yeah.
Yeah, it's FINRA.org.
Okay.
And check, it'll be up on my Facebook page, Maggie Linton Show. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
And move forward positively, and everything will work out. And it may not seem like it right at the very moment where you are right now, but just keep moving forward, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Blessings. Bye-bye. We have Russell, who knows you, Aaron. Go ahead, Russell. Thank you for holding.
Hey, Aaron. I'm friends with your son, Mike. If this is Aaron Smith, I think it is. I'm friends with your son, Mike. He just had a kid a couple of years ago. I just want to say hello. Congratulations.
Yes, hi. How you doing, Russell?
I'm doing well. Just checking in. No questions. Just saying hello. That's it.
Oh, yeah? How you doing financially, Russell?
I'm doing all right. No complaints.
All right. You should be doing great.
Absolutely. Should be doing great. Thanks for the call, Russell.
Thank
No
you,
problem.
Russell. All right. We've got Richard. Go ahead, Richard. Oh, we just talked to Richard? Oh, okay. Okay. No, I didn't. I just talked to Russell. Oh, okay. There's something blinking up here. So, all right, cool. So we again, let's talk about finding a good financial advisor, because you just gave the organization that works with them, FINRA. That's really important that they are certified with that group.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of mistakes are made at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens when the individual has a sour taste or bad experience, they just don't want to deal with this stuff at all. It's already complicated to them. So one way of being able to weed out the bad is to go to that website. That website is going to give you details about the advisor that you plan to work with. If that advisor is not registered through FINRA, then I would recommend that you don't work with them. It is simple as that. If you're currently, Maggie, working with an advisor, you can also go on to FINRA and you can review the status of that advisor. Many people talk about Bernie Madoff. We remember Bernie Madoff and what has happened with that, or what did happen with that situation. But there were so many red flags that were evident with Bernie Madoff. He had a awful FINRA report, and no one really understood that they could go and investigate how this guy performed in the past. And if they would have, many would have found that this is not the person that I want to do business with. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I would recommend that you talk to friends, go to workshops, go to seminars. That's a great way to vet an advisor. You want to know what do they specialize in? What's their specialty? Their specialty may be college planning, or it may be retirement planning. I want people to really understand, Megan, that financial planning or managing your wealth is not about investments.
And it's not one size fits all.
Absolutely. It's not one size fit all. So it's important that you get a clear picture of where you want to go and have that advisor listen very carefully to what you're trying to accomplish.
Right. Make sure you're, like you just said, make sure you're with the right person. Okay. We've got Ron in Michigan. Go ahead, Ron.
Yes, how you doing?
Good.
Hey, I got a question. I want to start up a business. I'm trying to figure out, do I need to get a financial advisor? Do I just wing it until I start making some money, then get hold of a financial advisor? Or how do y'all recommend for a person who want to start up a business?
I got some advice on that, too, but I'm going to let Aaron ask first.
Okay.
Go ahead, Aaron.
I'll listen to you. Thank you.
All right.
Hey, Ron,
Ron.
Thanks for the call, Ron.
Ron, hang on, because he might have a second or third question for you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Well, I would say this. Ron. First of all, there's a difference between a financial advisor and a business consultant. There's two big differences. You don't want to hire a financial advisor to help you start your business and run your business and build your business. Ideally, you would like to have someone who's skilled as a business consultant. So you want to. I would recommend that you look for a business consultant, Ron. That's the approach that I would take. And that's not only for you starting a business, but for you out there who have businesses already and who have been successful for 10 and 15 and 20 and 30 years. You want to find a business consultant.
And very much within the business that you're looking for, too. And it's very much like Aaron was just saying, it's really important to find someone who specializes in the same field or very close to what you are going into. You don't want to just say, like if you're going into a cleaning service just by chance, you don't want to talk to someone who is building homes. That they're two different, completely
Absolutely.
separate ones. So look for that type of person, okay?
Absolutely.
All right, Ron?
All right, thank you.
All right. Good luck.
Okay, bye.
All right. Ann from New York. Go ahead, Ann.
I was in a flood Irene, and we had to get a loan from Small Business Administration to redo our house over. The whole downstairs got flooded out. Okay. When we went to refinance our loan, they wouldn't give it to us because the house is not worth more than what the loan is, because we have two loans. Okay, one is at the Bank of America and one is at Small Business Administration. Now, I want to sell my house, but last year when we went to have it appraised, it's not worth more than the two loans together.
So you're underwater.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And I want to sell and get out of here.
Let me ask a little bit more, if you will, Ann. Give me some insight in terms of getting out. Are you planning to move to a new home? Are you planning to move out of the city or out of the state that you're located right now?
I'm planning to move out of the state.
Okay. Are you married? Do you have children? And how old are you?
Okay. I am 64. My husband is 69. All my kids are big.
Okay. All right. I got you. All right.
And gone, huh?
Right?
All right. Look here. This is important to note. The most important thing that you want to remember, Ann, is that you are the most important thing. And your family is the most important thing. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to, I want to be careful when I say this. You don't want the very wealthy, the very rich to dictate your lifestyle. And I would say to you, as in your situation, is really get a clear picture of what you want in the future for yourself. So if you want to move, if you want to relocate, do not allow the finances, don't allow the home to make you stay there. That's important. It's very difficult just with the limited amount of time and information that we have this morning that I can give you a real strong recommendation of what you should do, because we need a lot more in terms of your income, your assets, et cetera, et cetera. All right. But what I am saying to you is that there is a way for you to have what you want in life. Just don't allow the banking financial institutions to dictate your lifestyle to you, okay?
Oh, okay.
Can she look at something like a reverse mortgage or something along those lines? Or is that possible?
Well, a reverse mortgage is designed, Maggie, for individuals who are at least 62 years old and have no debt on their property or minimum debt on that property, and doesn't fall in that situation. And as you said before, Maggie, it sounds like she's underwater. And what she doesn't want to do is she doesn't want to be held hostage to the home. And no one should be held hostage to a product or a building or something that really isn't important. Now, many of us, many times, Maggie, we fall emotionally in love with maybe, let's say, our home. And we allow our home, because of our emotions, dictate our financial future. I want Ann not to do that.
Okay. And so Ann should continue seeking others who may be able to help them?
I would think she would probably want to talk to an advisor. And look here, this is important as well, Maggie. There are advisors that will give information pro bono. They will. You would just have to have a conversation with them. We are in a profession that's designed to help people with their finances. All financial advisors don't work with millionaires or just want to work with millionaires.
The majority of them don't.
Right. So I would say, Ann, seek someone, talk with them, and let them know your situation, and then let them know up front, Ann, that you don't have the wealth, you don't have the income or the asset to pay the cost. Do they mind offering their service pro bono? And I think you will get some amens out there.
Yeah.
Okay, can I ask you another question?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I was figuring, since the housing market is going up, and I was thinking about why I'm paying for the next year both loans, and I get them down lower than what my house is worth, can I put it up for sale?
Absolutely. Absolutely. As you pay down that principal and the value of the homes go up, then certainly you could do that. But here's the thing also, Ann, you want to be able to calculate when that's going to happen. So having a financial professional help you calculate when that's going to happen gives you much more clarity in your life. Okay? You don't want to just suspect that that's going to happen in 10 years or 5 years. You want to know that that number is going to meet where you'll be in a situation where you're able to sell that property at a specific date, and then you can move on with your life.
Okay, now where would I find this financial advisor?
Once again, I don't know if you just tuned into the show, but talk to people that you may know, friends that you may know, colleagues that you may know who have already worked with an advisor. That's a good way of doing it. Also, look in your local newspaper, and you'll find that there are advisors who are giving workshops and seminars and webinars all the time. Go to these events in the evening. After the workshop, tap that advisor on the shoulder and said, "Hey, I need help.
Yeah.
I need you to help me." And they're not gonna turn away from you. They're gonna be there to help you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're
All right.
welcome.
Good luck.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll get more information from our financial guru, Aaron Smith, when we return. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
You're listening to the Maggie Linton Show on Sirius XM Urban View. We'll be right back. And now, let's join Maggie Linton on Sirius XM Urban View, Channel 110.
Welcome back. Next hour, journalist Shahan Mufti and actress and singer Cheryl Lee Ralph. But we wrap up things right now with our financial expert for the day, Aaron Smith. He is president and founder of A.W. Smith Financial Group. Now, you also do a radio show on Blog Talk Radio.
Yeah, we do
Talk
a show.
about that.
Oh, absolutely. We do a show on Blog Talk Radio. It's a hour show that we do. It's about personal finance. Once again, it's just educating people on their personal finances. It's a opportunity to do what you're doing. It's fun. It gives us the opportunity to sharpen our skills, too, as we continue to learn all of the new ideas that are out there as it relates to the world of finance. It's a Blog Talk Radio. You can Google Aaron Smith, and you'll definitely be able to find that Aaron Smith Blog Talk Radio. Also, we do a piece called Tuesday Tips. And we're going to even create more ideas with this Tuesday tip piece where doesn't matter where you are in the country, you'll be able to get our Tuesday tips. And that Tuesday tip is going to give you something for just a minute that you could view via our YouTube. And you can learn something every day on finance. I do want to say this also, Maggie, this is so important. I believe in generational wealth, and I believe in it very so much for the African American community. It's important that if you have kids, if you're tuning in right now, and if you have kids out there and grandkids, it's important that you educate them about money. Start talking with them about money. Start talking to them about how a business works. Educate them. Have them grow up and understand the language of money. It's never too soon, Maggie, to do this. You can start doing it. I started doing it with my kids at 5 years old. And you'll be amazed that they understand this stuff. It's important to understand also in our profession, the profession that I am in, there is less than 1% that look like me in my profession. As we go to our workshops, our seminars, our events across the country every single year, it's hardly anyone who's representing the Black community. And the Black community needs more advisors in our business so that we can continue to educate. And we don't have that yet. So if you have kids who are going to school, they may be a liberal arts major. They may have a business major. They may decide they want to become an MBA, or anything in economics. And it's important that the profession of financial planning is so wide open to them, And there's major backing right now from investment and insurance companies who are looking for people like us. They will invest money in you. Please start thinking about financial advising as a profession in our community.
You're talking about a career.
Yes.
And it's, somebody that's good with numbers, as you said, so often they're the CPAs and things along those lines. But as a real financial expert, somebody can go to and talk to, they really are missing a lot of holes out there.
Absolutely.
All right. We've got Clark from Missouri. Go ahead, Clark.
Yes. Good morning, Maggie.
Good morning,
Aaron.
Good morning.
I am really excited and encouraged by what you were saying about finances. I have to admit, I'm getting ready to celebrate my 24th year of marriage in October.
Fantastic.
And
congratulations.
I have to admit, though, that's been one of the things that has been challenging for me. I work, I'm a musician on the side, but I also am a salesman. But one of the things I always depended on my wife regarding the finances. I make the money, and I depended on her to, divvy where it goes. But throughout the years, her challenge to me, and I know this is what my weakness. I don't have the knowledge that I need to even handle my own money, and I'm a reader, and I'm willing to learn, and again, I want to be able to take charge of that part to relieve my wife from that, as far as self-education. So my question to you is books, seminars, or websites. I want to bring that part of security to my wife, that I do not, to learn how to handle money better and to manage it better.
Yeah, for both of you.
Yeah.
Because if she's managing her money, she's also managing your money, and you're managing all of you all's money. So you definitely want to be so much more knowledgeable. But I'll let Aaron talk. Let me shut up. That's the reason why he's here.
I receive that.
No, you're doing a great job, Maggie. Look here, Clark. First of all, what I want you to really start to think about here. First of all, don't be concerned about the past. I am absolutely confident, and I'm so excited that you're starting to think about the future as it relates to your finances. What happened in the past is in the past. Second of all, keep in mind, you don't want to become a financial advisor. Understand that if you have a profession that you love and you do something else in life, you may not have time to become a financial advisor. What I do want you to do as well is to learn enough about finances that when you sit down with the professional, you can ask the right questions. He or she can know that you are on the ball. That's important. There's a website, mymoney.gov. mymoney.gov. That is a great website to learn about debt management, to learn about investments, stocks, bonds, exchange traded funds, to learn about a business. That is where I would go. I would recommend that you go there, because I, as a professional, I still go there. Okay, you want to go there, but what you want to do is have enough knowledge so when you sit down, that you'll be able to understand what you need to do financially. And one more thing here, Clark, that's important. This is not only for you, Clark, but this is for Maggie's listeners. All right. If you are married, if you have a partner, consider doing your finances together. Go sit down with a professional together. Talk about it together. It doesn't necessarily mean that one or other partner is going to come to the relationship financially and want to do it right away. It's something that you want to coach up to. You want to work in a way that's going to allow you to work together. Keep in mind, it's about team. And in a marriage for 24 years, you are a team. You should be also a team with your finances. Now, let me say one more thing, and this is important. All right. This doesn't mean that you have all your money together. Because I can hear some people out there saying, hold on for a second, Aaron, hold on.
That's true.
Do not have all your assets together if you don't elect to. It doesn't mean that you do everything together financially. It just means that you're on the same page financially.
Well, my mom always told me that everybody should have their own finances. My husband and I have separate checking accounts, and we also have separate savings, but also together savings.
Absolutely.
And it's very important that you also have something, Clark, that you can call My Savings. It's not anything that's discrediting her, but at the same time, it's just kind of like a little safeguard that's always there. And you could always take some of that money out of there and surprise her with a trip or something like that. But again, you can't do it. You can't surprise her if all of your money is together. You understand what I'm saying?
And that's coming from Maggie, Clark.
Yeah.
That's great advice. Awesome advice.
Thank you very much.
All right. Good luck. And, don't be afraid to seek out a good financial advisor, because if you're doing a lot of things and you're self-educating, you can always do more. And also, there's a great book out called In the Black, Live Faithfully, Prosper Financially, The Ultimate 9-Step Plan for Financial Fitness. And it's done by Aaron Smith, okay? It's called In the Black. Thank you, Clark. All right. So we got through about 2 of your steps here. Let's talk about what you consider another really strong and important financial pointer.
I think one that I should point on before we close out on the show this morning, and thank you once again, Maggie, for having me. I appreciate
pleasure.
it very much. I've talked about this just a little bit, but this generational wealth. I think that's important in our communities. I want you to think about this for a moment, listeners, if you will. If you were a sprinter, if you trained and you worked hard and you were a sprinter, and you were competing against your opponent, and your opponent started at the 50-yard line and you started at the starting line, and you were going to run 100 meters, you know who would win. You would know who would always win. Even if you had better talent, better gift, and harder work ethics, you will always end up in last. The point I want to make here, ladies and gentlemen, is that many of us in the African American community, we build wealth. I see it every single day. I work with you. However, we're not creating this wealth to pass to the next generation. We don't understand how to use mechanisms and strategies to move the wealth to the next generation and the next generation and the next generation. Many times, Maggie, I hear people tell me, I'm not going to leave money for my kids. They're just going to blow it away anyway. That's not necessarily true if you set up the right mechanisms such as trust. Things like that. A financial vehicle called a trust allows you to create wealth to your family. So many of you who have these 401k plans and IRAs out there and savings accounts and life insurance policies, and you have these homes that have value in it. Grandmother paid the home off. Grandmother has land out there that's available and lien free. How do you create wealth? You start talking to professionals to get the wealth passed from generation, Maggie, to generation to generation.
And so often it's just paperwork.
Yes,
we've got Ray from Michigan who wants FINRA explained, which we just called it FINRA, and you need a little bit more. Go ahead, Ray.
Yes. What I did was I rented a house. I was hoping you were still on. I actually called it FinRod first. But I went on, and it was kind of difficult to determine where to search. I got one advisor I'm kind of watching because I put some money in, and it appeared like his fees are more than what I'm actually making. I got another advisor who wants me to come to her. She was recommended by my insurance agent, who's no longer in the business. So long and short, me and my wife has probably about $150,000 kind of here and there, and I'm trying to actually get my financial house in order. And I need to find out, one, how to do a search for the advisor so I can find out whether he's a FINRA. I think you say if he's registered on FINRA.
Great question. Is it Ray?
Mm-hmm.
It's Ray. Yeah. Good question. Yeah. What you want to do, Ray, first of all, is you want to write down the name of the advisor that you're looking to do
I have that.
And once you have that information, you want to go to finra.org. Once you get online, you want to go to broker. There's a section that says broker. You want to broker, BROKER.
I'm right here. I got it on my
Okay. You want to, he's right there, following right through.
I love it.
All right. And you want to put his name in there, and it should send back to you multiple searches, especially if his name is very common. If it's not, you're probably going to get him right away or her right away. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Once you have that information, it's going to ask you for a detailed report. You want to click detailed report, and it's going to give you everything that you need as it relates to that advisor.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, that's great because I got a couple. I'm not real happy. Actually, I've been looking, but we're not in a bad situation because I actually got lucky. I got a call about a month ago, and I invested $10,000. Me and my wife first got married and forgot about it, and they've been trying to find me for about 7 years, and they finally found me. And I need to find somewhere to put that money. That's what made me say, that don't make no sense to have $10,000 somewhere and you don't even have a clue it's there.
That's right.
Well, sometimes, Ray, we have wealth like that, man. You got so much wealth, you just forget about where that money was.
my wife said, "You sure that was the money you wanted me to find out?"
I hear you, man.
Yeah, but
Maggie,
yes.
I listen to you often. I stumbled on you when I started getting going into my satellite radio with Joe Madison, and one day I don't know how I ended up with you on there, but your programs are fantastic. Your Facebook page, I've been on it.
Thank you.
And I just appreciate the information that you bring to light.
Well, listen, I learn every day, and I want you all to, and God's blessings for you, okay?
Thank you much. I'm on my way to church right now.
All right. Thank you, Ray. Hey, many thanks to Aaron Smith, president and founder of A.W. Smith Financial Group. I'm going to say this fast. He can be heard on Blog Talk Radio and Your Choice, Your Money, and visit his website, awsmithfinancial.com. Thank you so much. It'll tell everybody everything else they need to know. And by the way, the Facebook page is done by Odell Coleman Williams, my producer. Listen, thank you all very much. Coming up in just a moment, we're going to go insight to Pakistan. Stay tuned.